where he's fighting the boss,
Uh-huh.
like this older white dude with a cane or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and he's supposedly is putting him in a headlock, and you can see part of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kareem
Oh, his afro.
in the corner.
So, good evening, everybody. We're going to do Oh, that was like not a proper introduction. That was like, I didn't mean it. So, good evening, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well out there. Hope everyone is staying safe. Black Lives Matter. Wear a fucking mask, please. We have Fred. Fred, say hello.
What's up?
And we got Brian. So today we're going to do we wanted to do an action movie thing, but neither one of us had time to get prepared because we both suck.
Yep.
So we winged it and said, let's find a list of all-time action movies. And that's what we're going to do. So we tracked down a list here, and the list we have is by Men's Health. Give me a second here. Is by Men's Health. It's the 20 best action movies ever made. And we're probably going to shit on this a little bit. But listen, we're not going to shit on it. I don't know if we're going to shit on it.
Right. I would like to know of how many I saw.
I feel like we're going to have seen a lot of these. I have to believe we've seen a lot of these, right? But we're going to have alternates, and this is going to spin off a bunch of different conversations. I mean, let's get into it. So I'm going to be honest. The first movie I love, and I'm going to tell you why I love this. Earlier, I was thinking about this conversation, as I am wont to do.
Right.
And I was like, what's the underrated action movie that I feel like people don't talk about? Is First Blood.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because this is not a Rambo movie it's not like a shoot 'em up Rambo movie.
Yeah, it's not like you're right. It's not like just an action movie to be an action movie. This is actually telling a story.
Yeah, and it has a commentary too. It's a commentary on how vets are being treated when they come back from Vietnam.
Yep.
Has a good, compelling story. The most gratuitous part. What do you think is the most gratuitous part of it? I would think it's when he's on top of the office building and he's just like shooting at people randomly.
Well, here's the thing. I actually, I've seen this movie like hundreds of times.
Yeah.
But I actually listened to a commentary, back in the DVD days, like when you there was no Netflix, you were just watching everything that the menu had. And what you'll notice if you go back, Rambo never kills anybody in First Blood.
Correct. He doesn't kill anybody.
Everyone either, falls off a plane, because like they lost their footing or something like that.
Yeah.
I think probably the most gruesome part is where he sets that trap and those sticks go in the guy's legs and he's
yeah. That guy might have died though. I know we're saying
an infection. No,
I'm sure he had some complications later. Yeah, but there's like a major vein.
He might be an amputee, but he's still alive.
He's still alive, but not.
They made it clear that everyone. Nobody died.
Listen, Lieutenant Dan is still alive in Forrest Gump, but that doesn't mean he's living.
And here's the thing: so this was based off of a book, and he was supposed to die at the end.
Oh, okay.
In the book, he dies in the end.
Okay.
So, but here, the thing is, I thought it was well done. Like, it's completely different from the other movies.
Yeah.
The other movies are just straight up action. They make him almost like this superhero.
Yep.
Where he's like good versus bad. Where this isn't. It's this guy who's a good person, and he has these demons.
Yeah.
And people are messing with him. You know what I mean? And they don't understand him, and he knows that they don't understand him. So it's a lot deeper.
No, for sure. This goes back to like our conversation about Life, and we're gonna get to two in a second, but about the movie Life, where it's like I don't think people realize like movies like a movie like that with a commentary. They're like, this is an ageless commentary. You know what I mean? You could look at First Blood today with everything happening and be like, there are messages here that are still standing today. There's police brutality. The whole thing is in First Blood.
Right.
And it's what happens when somebody gets pushed too far. Right. And you shouldn't have fucked with them. Yep. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at this being number one.
I mean, there's all kinds of action though too.
There is, for sure.
You got that hand-to-hand combat. Yeah. You got some nice machine gun work.
There's like survival work when he's like when he's running through the forest and ends up in the cave.
And all that.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
he puts the Ryu headband on, which becomes like they clean it up in the later movies and they make it nice and perfect. And here is just a tear off of some clothes.
Right.
The later Rambos are gratuitous. Is like John Wick, and this movie is like same thing happens in the Rocky movies to an extent. You know what I mean? They go hand in hand almost. All right, let's get to number 2. So Kill Bill Volume 1. Listen, I don't know if I can rank these movies better or worse.
Right.
You know what I mean? Am I mad? Are you mad? Kill Bill Volume 1. I can't say I'm mad at this.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. You know why? Because it was one of those movies that had the violence was like extra.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, like with Tarantino movies, they're so extra is that they're almost comical.
Yeah.
Right? Because like he'll show like blood squirting like a fountain. You know what I mean? Like out of stuff. So it's almost so graphic that you don't believe that it's real.
Yeah.
Like it's not like disturbing. It's more like, oh wow, this is insane. Like,
yeah.
It's more like a spectacle. So, but I mean, this is something where they kind of show, at least for this list, that's a female.
That's
lead.
A good point too, for sure. That's a good point. And so my favorite thing about Kill Bill from someone who is a manga nerd, like an anime nerd, is that this like serves that like really serves right into it. Even with the way they refer to her as the bride, Bill is just Bill, the crazy 88, like they mentioned here in the article. It's all of these. It's characters to ultimate, like characters all the way, like comic book characters almost. These are no longer like people with pseudonyms. These are like characters. She is the bride. You never know her name. In fact, you never know her name throughout both movies. So and the way they film it, like that, the cutting across the eyes, some of the music. This fight
soundtrack is good.
The soundtrack is fire. This fight right here that they're showing here, they switch to black and white. And then when she fights what's her face in the snow, Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
It's just like really the cinematography. The cinematography is fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not that mad at it.
Do you like one or two? Do you like one or two better here?
It's been so long. I think I liked Volume 1.
Okay.
Now I think like I will have to look at them again, because it's like I get like with those movies I actually get confused like what happened in 1 and 2.
Yeah. The 2 really gives us more backstory.
Right.
And it's almost hard to have 1 without 2 because you're kind of thrusted into it, and like you're thrusted at the beginning. It's almost like Memento, right? It was like you're thrusted in the beginning where she's just waking up out of this coma, and you're going from there. But whatever, I'm not mad at either way. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I've seen no Raid movies. Have you seen any of the Raid movies?
No, I haven't. I've never seen this.
Yeah, these are. But I know what these are. These are like that gratuitous action. You know what I mean? Over the top.
Just look at that knife that my man got.
It's the craziest curved knife. It's almost like a mini sickle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of some sort.
Is this like some sort of like Japanese?
No, actually, I think this is. It doesn't say here. I think it's actually an English movie.
Oh.
Not English as in American. I'm sorry. I think it's an American movie actually. But it features a lot of, they bring in like all the crazy fighters.
Yeah.
Of every different culture.
Yeah.
I'm interested. You know what's funny is Rogue Nation. Have you seen Rogue Nation?
Yes.
Do you think it's the best Mission Impossible?
Dude, I think it is.
Okay.
Which one do you think is better than it?
3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman is my favorite.
Nah, bro. I mean, as far as action,
okay,
this one is fire.
Yeah, you know what? See, and I think that's probably where I'm kind of, because the Philip Seymour Hoffman, that I think that was also to a time when Hollywood was doing like really, really. Like that is, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's around the beginning when Hollywood really starts putting thought into villains.
Yeah.
And it's around the time that Heath Ledger is Joker, and it's around the time Philip Seymour Hoffman is the bad guy here.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's these villains that are like just banging actors. Right. I don't know. The story is so compelling in Mission Impossible 3. I don't know. Maybe I got to go back and watch Rogue Nation again. I don't know. It's not my favorite Mission Impossible as of right now. Maybe I got to rewatch it.
Yeah, I got to.
And decide. But I would say that for me, it's Mission Impossible 3. I'm going to leave that as a, listen, you can put any Bourne movie here except for the last one. I'm cool with it. What do you think about this Bourne?
The Bourne Ultimatum. No, Bourne Ultimatum was good. That was a good. I mean, how many Bourne movies are there?
There are 5. All right. There's the first 3.
Right.
Then there's one where they get Hawkeye. What's his face?
Yeah.
And then there is a 5th one with Matt Damon, which is kind of forgettable.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's a good movie. I don't know how much I don't remember a ton of the action, like being so.
Yeah.
You could tell he's like, oh man, this dude's insane. But
yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know if I would put this in my action.
I will say this, at least about the franchise. You know why? Because that's what this feels like. This feels like this almost feels like we're going to put the Bourne Ultimatum here to pay respect to 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
But I would almost say Bourne Identity was better, which is the first one.
Right.
Because I remember that one thoroughly. Not that I don't remember this one, but I remember number 1 really, really well. And even what they're saying here, James Bond is still playing catch up. I think I would have one of the Daniel Craig 007s ahead of this. I can't remember the one I'm thinking of, but not that I'm mad at it, because listen, very few action movies do you walk out of and say, man, I wonder if this person fought this person, who would win, right? You do it in John Wick. Right. And in the Bourne movies, I said, man, Jason Bourne versus such and such, who would win in a fight. Right. But you're right. I don't know if Ultimatum would be 5 for me. In fact, I would put John Wick, aforementioned John Wick, probably above him. This list came out last February, which I think is before John Wick 3 comes out.
Yeah.
Because I think John Wick 3 would be here in this spot, or maybe even higher, personally.
Yeah. I mean, John Wick is just, it's very hard for action movies to do something that you haven't seen before, right? Because it's very you've seen explosions, you've seen just people start, when Matrix came out, everybody started using that 360, special effect. This movie, for me, it felt like, I remember seeing it, I red boxed it, right? Yeah. Because I was like, that's a red box movie. I was going to a movie theater for it. Nobody talked about it.
Uh-huh.
And so I saw it, and then, it was almost like he was fist fighting with guns.
Yeah.
Just the way he was, the whole thing was amazing. Yeah. And, the storyline, it's like, you came here for action. This is what we gave you. But it was well done, though. It wasn't, cheesy. And I remember just putting my boy on, and he was like, what? He was like, there's no way this John Wick, Keanu Reeves movie is going to be good. He saw it. He's like, oh, my gosh, bro. That was such a good movie. So, John Wick came out of nowhere.
Yeah. You saw the previews, and I think I had the same reaction Keanu's watched. You know what I mean? What is he going to – but what this movie does so well is it says, okay, if you're coming here for action – I'm going to give you a very small reason. They come and kill his dog, and now he's going to go ballistic. Everyone can relate to that. You kill my fucking dog, I'm going to murder your family, right?
Right.
But then along the way, they build this whole world out. Yeah. And you're like, wait a minute, but what are all of these other things? This hotel and the concierge, and you can't kill people in the hotel, and they have these weird gold coins, and he has this weird past that you know nothing about. It's this class of assassins. Yeah. Whereas a movie like Wanted, right? Wanted is about the assassin guild or whatever, right? It's about this guild of assassins. Whereas this is about this, you killed this guy's dog and you're introduced to this story along the way. And it's at a time when comic book movies are taking off, it's just a banging ass way to build like a comic book type world almost. You know what I mean? So I can't speak highly enough about all the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
This is one of the last one of the more recent movies I actually own. You know what I mean? Like I own 1 and 2. And I haven't bought 3 for whatever reason, but I own 1 and 2. So
yeah.
John Wick, fantastic movie. I'm not mad at it. Maybe even higher. Enter the Dragon. I don't think you can do a list without putting a Bruce Lee movie here.
Yeah.
And Enter the Dragon is probably the apex of all the Bruce Lee movies. I don't know if there's a better one.
Yeah. It's like, because I think it was like it was one of his earliest American movies. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, this movie is just, and the thing is, this Bruce Lee changed, he changed action movies.
Yeah.
Right. He put martial arts in the forefront.
Yep.
Like, and the thing is, a little bit after him, action movies kind of changed. They started getting like these big, gigantic, Schwarzenegger looking dudes. But you can't tell me, people don't try to do Bruce Lee moves, like,
for sure.
Back in the day. So, and his stuff is still like, when you watch a lot of movies, there's some comical parts. Mm-hmm. But, just like he had like a swagger too. A
for
swagger,
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in his movies. So, I mean, this movie was fire.
Yeah, he like when you look at like even like Jean-Claude, like a lot of the guys who were spawned, like the martial arts guys spawned after him, like Jean-Claude Van Damme or Chuck Norris at this time, are like mad robotic when they act. Steven Seagal, like mad robotic, but to your point, he was actually like a good actor. You know what I mean? Like he had that swag, that personality that came through.
Yeah.
This kind of like John Wick almost, where they build this very, again, serving to anime fans, they build this world where he has to go through this weird, almost like this weird gauntlet to fight all these dudes, one of them being Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And it's fucking fire. Like, it's just a banging ass idea.
Yeah. And that movie where he fights, I think that was called Game of Death.
When he fights
Kareem.
No, he fights Kareem here in Enter the Dragon. Game of Death, I think he actually fights.
No, he fights Kareem in Game of Death.
Do you want to be wrong here, or
he fights him?
Or you want me to show you the picture?
Game of Death is the one where he died, where he had died already.
Oh, go ahead. No. Let's see here. It can't be when he died already.
Yes.
No, because you're right. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in here. So I'm sorry. You're right. So Game of Death should be here then.
Okay. So what happened in Game of Death was that he had filmed that.
I thought this was Kareem right here.
No.
That's not Kareem.
Yeah, that's definitely not Kareem.
That's not Kareem. You're right. You're right.
Just because he's black doesn't mean
you're right. You're 1,000,000%. You're
right. So Game of Death, if you get a chance,
Game of Death should be here then, because this is the one I actually like.
It's a treat. Game of Death is a treat because he had filmed a lot of the end action.
Yeah.
Right. But he had died.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did for a money grab, right, was they put in the story that he had to change his identity, right? And so they actually used his funeral, footage from his funeral.
To fake his death.
Because he faked his death. And then they used another actor to say like he has, surgery.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the main fighting part, Bruce Lee's back. He has his face.
Remember?
They only had certain clips.
Yeah.
So you could tell they didn't have that much material. So there's a scene where he's fighting the boss, like this older white dude with a cane or whatever. And he's supposedly Bruce Lee is putting him in a headlock. And you could see part of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
His afro. Yeah.
But the best part, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't get anything, like, I need you to leave with this, because after this podcast, you have to watch it. There's a scene in the beginning where they cut they took a picture of Bruce Lee's head and they put it in the film.
Yeah.
And the actor is literally behind the picture,
shaking.
And you
see, you just see his head like growing in certain parts. Well, I'll never forget you showing me that, I think at your house, and I almost passed out in laughter. You know what I mean? From noticing that. Well, you're right. You know what? But I don't care. That's my favorite Bruce Lee movie, though.
No, but it's the movie that, I mean, people use this, but the most, like when you see like scenes of Bruce Lee, it's one of the, like Game of Death is the one that you see. Because he does the thing with the nunchuck with the yellow.
Yeah, with the
yellow joint on. So,
which is the one where he fights the guy with the claws, with the claw on his hands? Is that Game of Death at the end?
It might have been. Yeah, because basically, I can't remember. I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
But like with Game of Death, he goes up this.
He's going up the levels. Yeah.
And each floor is like a boss.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool concept.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it builds that whole world. And then to your point earlier, literally, I can't even think, other than like Mike Tyson, like this happened to Mike Tyson too for a while, where video games like Street Fighter and Bruce Lee wanted to include like a guy like them. Yeah. And Bruce Lee is in all of those. And to this day, there are animes that have a Bruce Lee character with the high pitch yell and the whole thing, the
hair,
all of it, everything, the fighting style and all of it. He also created his own martial arts, so that's also good to know. You know what? Listen,
he actually trained Kareem.
He trains Kareem, correct? And the answer to our question is literally on this picture. The guy with the claws is here in Enter the Dragon because that's the scar on his stomach.
You're right.
All right, the Killer. I did not see this movie. Do you know about this movie?
Me neither. I have never seen that.
Let's see here. John Woo's Hollywood career. Blah blah blah. I don't care.
This might be one of his early. John Woo's early.
Oh, Chow Yun Fat is here.
Yeah.
Fast, never forget the Killers, where Wu began his obsession with dove-filled action scenes. I was about to literally jokingly ask if there are doves in this movie, and they've answered that question. If you don't know, everyone, John Woo puts doves in his fucking movie. He does. He directs Mission Impossible 2, and before the last fight or whatever, 2 doves just fly. No, so where these fucking birds come from?
He did Face Off too, right?
Does he do Face Off? I don't know. I'd have to look for the doves to find out, to be sure.
Because there's the scene where they're in the church.
And he loves churches. He loves. If you put John Woo in a church with doves, and that motherfucker is in heaven.
All right, so imagine him pitching the movie. All right, so I got doves at a church.
Yeah,
right?
So three things. All right, doves, church. Nicolas Cage. Done. Send it through. All right, number 9, Aliens.
Aliens is good, bro.
Yeah, I'm not mad at this. Everything they do is pretty fire, except I think which one is the bad one? Is it Aliens 3 that people dislike? I know
it was the very last one I thought was kind of...
Yeah, the first one, but again, like a lot of these movies that we're talking about, they become gratuitous, whereas like Aliens 1 is like pushing like forward, it's pushing something forward, and then Aliens 2 and 3 becomes like slasher almost.
Right. But no, Aliens is a classic, and we were talking, when we were talking about the list, it has to be one of the best action, horror type.
Yeah.
I put this in the horror. This is horror.
Yeah. To me, this was always horror. It's scary as fuck.
Yeah. What's scary? I think. What do you think? Which is scarier, this or Predator?
I feel like I could give hands to Predator. Like I feel like you know how people will talk shit to cops.
You lost weight, and now I
don't know how to act. Yeah, now I don't know how to act. You know how people tell cops like put your gun and you're down, let's scrap. I feel like yo, Pred, hold on real quick. Just put your hand knife thing away and the triangle gun, and let's just fist fight to the death. Now he's gonna beat me up, I'm sure. He's gonna beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, he's gonna wash you.
He just got 2 hands. This guy right here.
Yeah.
He's got multiple hands and appendages. He also has an additional mouth that comes out of his face.
Yeah.
So let's say he lunges at you and you catch him by the neck. You got to worry about the second And what are you gonna do at that point? So no, I don't want no beef. It's just too much work.
Man, I kind of want to watch that again. I want to watch Aliens again.
Aliens again. Either way, not mad at number 9. Yeah. And I will say, what was the last one that came out that's kind of like the spin-off?
It was, I thought, it started with a P.
Yeah, what the hell is that called? I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. A
lot of people hate the movie. While Fred's looking this up, a lot of people hate that movie. But I thought they did a really good job of adding a whole extra layer. Now,
yeah, there was a lot more understanding.
Yeah, it's still a little bit confusing, but all you leave understanding is that
Prometheus,
that's it. That there's a being. I forgot what they were called, the architects or something like that.
It was like something like that, yeah.
And these beings, that it just adds like that world. I love when movies build out the world, right?
Yeah.
Build out a universe. Give me that. That's like the shit that. That's what I love about like the Kill Bill, like what's his face, like those movies that he'll build out a whole universe around these characters. I think is fucking great. So
yeah,
I know hated it, but
yeah, the one that I saw and I really didn't like of the Aliens, it was Aliens Resurrection, and that was 4.
That's 4. Okay, is that when she comes back?
Yeah,
and
it was like, what? That's I think that's the most annoying thing that a lot of people in movies do, like. They'll kill someone off, and all of a sudden that person comes back.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. What are we doing here? Yeah, we done it in Fast and Furious. You know what? I'm not going to say the joke I was going to say is too stupid.
Oh yeah.
But you know, because
I know. I already know.
Yeah, I already know. I'm horrible. The biggest problem, I think, especially at this time with action movies, even though Die Hard doesn't necessarily suffer from this, and I'm sure we'll come across Die Hard on this list somewhere, but. Where they make a classic movie and then fuck it up by making it into an action movie or into a horror movie instead of continuing building a story.
Yeah, because you got to think. So the thing is, I remember seeing a meme and I was like, "Yo, that's so right," and I don't think I thought about it, but Fast and the Furious was about import culture.
Yeah.
Like the. Like the souped up, Civics, like the street racing culture.
Yeah, dudes who build their own cars.
Yeah, and I remember really being into that. Like when I was young in high school, because I think that might have came out when we were in like 9th.
Something like that, yeah.
It was like pretty early, maybe 8th or 9th grade, and and I remember just being like, oh man, this is awesome. They're gonna make a movie about these cars that we liked. And then and then I saw it. I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome!" Like you saw all the souped up cars.
Yeah.
And then it just came into this thing where it was like nonsense.
Yeah. Now they're like international spies almost.
Bro, yeah. It's like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like they moved, and it's not about the imports anymore. It's all about like Ferraris and like like it's such a ridiculous premise. What they're talking.
It's gratuitous now.
Yeah. Oh, and the thing is, people love The Rock, right? Mm-hmm. And I like The Rock as a person, but like when they put him in movies, they put The Rock has never been in any type of realistic type movie. Like they don't even give him.
No. Yeah.
This dude in one of the Fast and the Furiouses, he was like on a highway in a car. Mm-hmm. He jumps off. And somehow flies and catches goes on another car that's like on another road. Like, dude, come on.
I mean, they just fought in the whatever it's called with the Rock and is it Jason Statham with Idris Elba? And Idris Elba's like a super soldier, essentially like Captain America. The thing is, though, to defend Fast and Furious a little bit, some movies make it go right. Right, where it's like, okay, this turned into an action movie. I'm sorry, I'm just putting my light on. This turned into an action movie, but they didn't fuck it up. So perfect example is Terminator, right? Where Terminator 1, they have this really compelling storyline and they build this compelling world and all this. And Terminator 2 goes heavy action, but it's not bad. It's fucking fire still. Yeah.
It's probably the best one of all of them.
Yeah. And then the most
I haven't seen the last Terminator.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I'm so confused by this.
Yeah.
The whatever.
The storyline is very confusing.
It's all over the place. It's worse than the X-Men storyline at this point. Yeah. But I think the most the most anger-inducing one, I can't think of the word I want to think of, is Matrix, where like Matrix nerds hate Matrix 2 because it goes so far away from the story that they build in Matrix 1. Right. But meanwhile, Matrix 2 is one of my favorite action movies because the action is incredible. Ridiculous. Yeah, they're literally pushing it to the next level. So
yeah, that's what all the movies did.
Polarizing. Like all
the Matrix just changed
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's polarizing is what I was thinking about. Anyway, moving on. Mad Max Fury Road. What do you think here?
Banging.
I'm not mad at this. The only thing I hated about this movie is that my man crush here, what's his face, doesn't actually talk very much at all. He doesn't. He's really
he doesn't talk in a lot of movies. Have you seen Dunkirk yet?
You know what? I haven't watched Dunkirk.
It's hardly any talking, but he's in it, and like.
But he kills Inception.
Yeah.
He kills Legend, even though Legend isn't that good, but he kills it.
Right.
You know what I mean? In this movie, he doesn't talk at all. He doesn't talk much in what's the movie where he's playing the prison guy?
Oh, Bronson.
He doesn't talk much in Bronson, but he does hang dong, as they say, throughout many parts of Bronson.
Did you know that he just came out with a movie not that long ago, Capone?
Yeah, and I actually want to watch that.
I read the reviews, and they said the movie was pure trash. It was like I was reading just like not even like critics. It was just people. They're like, "Yo, this movie is hot."
Well, garbage. I don't think people understood what they were. And listen, I could be wrong. I haven't seen it, so to be clear. But much like Watchmen and shit like that, where people go in thinking they're going to see a different movie.
Yeah.
So you hear Capone, you think you're about to watch a gangster movie, and find out it's not about that. It's about
his like last days.
Correct. And he had what, syphilis, I think, or something like that?
Yeah, he had syphilis, I think. And the thing is, but what ended up happening, what a lot of people were complaining was that it was just like, it was very like he was having like a lot of visions.
Correct.
And you would see him, and it was just weird. I think people really want to know who Capone was, but the people are taking liberty of like what he was looking at and whatnot.
I think like a lot of the like artsy critics people like the movie from what things I've read.
That's what I figured.
But your normal fan is like, what the fuck is this bullshit? You know what I mean?
I think people were just like, it's like very boring. And some of these movies, man, they're just like, I get the artsy piece, but like, come on, like the thing is, I don't know. And I'll give it a chance. Like if it's like, those people talk me out of like paying for it.
That's the problem. You know what? But that's the problem right there. That's the fucking problem right here. Let's talk about this real quick for one moment. Is the worst fucking thing that ever happened with Twitter and online shit.
Right.
Is that they will tear a movie apart until you go watch it. You're like, man, this movie wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? Or they'll hype up a fucking movie. The way they hyped up Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
I thought I was going in to watch the greatest movie ever made. And when I left, I was like, oh, this was cool. You know what I mean? So really, you just gotta watch it around. Maybe we'll do a podcast on it.
The only reason why I felt like I was like, I probably won't like this movie, because the thing is, there's been so many movies like that.
Yeah. That
I have these high hopes for, and that wasn't like a major movie that Capone was.
Correct.
So, like I even saw like the people who made them, who produced the movie. What is it called? A25 or something like that. I think they were one of the companies, and they make like a lot of promising movies that you think are going to be really good, and then they just don't hit. And the thing is, since I was reading actual people's reviews, not like critics, because critics are going to be critical for whatever. People, these were just like regular Joe Smalls being like, yo, this was just like long.
I need to know, and that's what you got to take. What are they saying here? Well, it was long and boring. Okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? But when people just say that shit is garbage, it's like, well, that doesn't fucking help me at all.
And they like the one thing they were just saying, like, it was just too many of like his visions, and it was just kind of weird. So like I was like, oh, okay, and it was the fact that I just didn't see like not that many people praising it. People were just like, yo, bro. this is just not a good movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you haven't heard anything. Like, if it was somewhat good, I think I would see mixed reviews.
Yeah, no, you're right. And you would have at least seen it on the timeline somewhere. You know what I mean? Right. Not much at all.
Yeah.
But like I said, everything I read about, I was like, this is weird. You know what I mean? I just want to see you be Al Capone and shoot somebody or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They took like a concept that, you know, probably shouldn't have been into a movie. Like, maybe, you know, intertwine it with like other storylines, like mob storylines. But that was just like, it just seems like they try to make a movie out of just a little bit of information. You feel
me? Yeah. No, that's
you're right. That's the thing, man. Them critics, man, they could talk you out of like whatever.
Yeah, or they could talk you into whatever. You know what I mean? That's why like when I see a movie, I'm like, I don't want to read about this from critics, because they'll put you in. They'll either make you like it more because they hated it so much, or they'll make you like it less because they love this one.
Yeah, it's true. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
A banger right here, number 11. I mean, this is a fucking banger. To your point about Matrix, this shit pushes everything forward. You know what I mean? Like,
and then you just saw like Imitators after this.
Correct. Yeah, it made this style of film had been happening all along.
Right.
But this was the one that got famous. You know, here, I guess you would say. And States, again. To all the anime lovers, like the idea of this like legendary sword and all that shit is just something you love, intertwined with this love story. I mean, shit, you could argue like Jet Li has a career as big as he does because of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I would think, even though he's not in the movie, I think his best movies are movies like this, movies like Hero. I forgot what the other one. Hero is the one that stands out. Hero is my favorite of these kinds of movies.
Right.
But Crouching Tiger deserves the nod here, obviously. Like, it breaks the fucking mold of everything. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's like the scene of them running through like on top of the trees, like
on
that whole fucking
the thing is, that's something like, again, not done.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at 11. Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Did you watch the sequel on Netflix?
No.
There is a sequel that came out on Netflix last year, maybe 2 years. It's not that good. I'm just gonna say it's not that good.
Oh, Terminator 2. We just talked about it. Yep.
Literally talked about it.
You know, the thing is, like, with this list, they're picking a lot of movies that kind of changed the game.
Yeah.
Right. So even with like Rambo, like that had a whole series of like, I don't know what they're like 5-6 movies already.
Yeah.
This Terminator, this movie was a straight up game changer.
Yeah.
Action, like special effects were never the same after Judgment Day, and it was so well done, man. This movie was amazing.
I would argue this should be higher.
No, I would. The same thing.
This is Apex Arnold. This is his Apex. Fuck that, because Conan and those movies are cool. You know, they're not bad movies, but the I'll Be Back, everything Hasta La Vista, all of that spawns from Terminator 2. Like the way we understand Arnold Schwarzenegger, people call him the Terminator, and it's not because of Terminator 1, it's because of this one. I would say, let me just see something. Like above Fury Road, above Aliens, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's above Kill Bill.
Yeah, it's making. Born Ultimatum is too high now. Now that I have now that I'm seeing what we're playing with, I'm not sure how you're gonna put Terminator 2 so goddamn low. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You could really argue Terminator 2 number 1 here.
Yeah.
Because everything about action movies today is because Terminator 2 existed.
Yeah, because there were scenes like futuristic scenes in it, and then you had Arnold's character, who was just straight up like gun shooter.
Yeah.
And then you had T-1000, who, like, we had never seen a special effect like that. Like that liquid.
Yeah, correct.
Was insane. And the movie was shot well. It was scary. But it was also that
very
action.
Thriller, yeah,
man. It was like that, that they showed that apocalypse scene, in the beginning.
That's true. Yeah,
that was wild.
No, and we joked about this on this podcast before about how, on one of our At Odds episodes, about how when you leave it, when you leave Terminator 2, you actually don't know if they really won. You know, like, is that a win you feel good about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that concept, because like a modern day classic movie, right? Dark Knight with the Joker, it's the same idea. When you leave that movie, right, you don't feel good about the win, right?
Right.
Did you even win? You know what I mean?
And them Batman movies weren't very victorious. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's a departure. And I think I might be wrong. I don't know if it starts here per se.
Yeah.
It's just that this is one of the most famous movies, one of the best action movies ever, that you leave and you're like, did they really fucking win though? You know what I mean? Like,
the thing is, I think that T-1000 was so terrifying that you were just happy he was gone.
Yeah. But the thing is, I felt like he could bounce back from anything.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, he was melted
within his own,
and then he went into lava.
Yeah,
I would just think that's a bath to him.
I just think
he could add more.
You could have made a Terminator 3 that came out the next day, and it's just him walking out of the lava.
Yeah, just bigger, like a giant. Exactly. He has more liquid.
Correct, more liquid to spew. Yeah. You know what I mean? More vicious. I don't know. This should be higher, in my opinion. Bullet. I actually have seen Bullet, but a very long time ago.
Yeah. Same here. But the thing is, the car of what I remember is that, the car chase scenes for that time blew people's mind away.
Yeah.
Like my uncle, he saw it and he had to get that car.
Yeah.
Like from Bullet. Like Bullet really changed. Like people bought cars, the muscle cars, because they saw that movie. They're like, I need that.
And this style of car is still romanticized today.
Oh yeah. They're beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, this type of car is literally, I don't know if you've ever seen, what's the show? It literally just is Supernatural, which like just ran through 15 seasons under everyone's whatever.
Yeah, they were back on the WB.
Yeah, listen, Supernatural was fire. If you've never,
I never watched it.
Supernatural is really good. It just is, each season is too long. That's what really makes it great. It's like 17 seasons with like 30 episodes seasons.
Lord have mercy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's really, really good. Supernatural was fantastic. Anyway.
Yeah.
And you have Steve McQueen, who I don't know. I can't speak to this time, but Steve McQueen has been in so many banger movies. It's like you talk like an Oscar winner coming to do an action movie.
Yeah.
Whereas you had guys that are only action stars. Steve McQueen wasn't just an action star.
Yeah. I mean, they even in that movie Cars, they call the car Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, correct. Lightning McQueen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my favorite, and they remade this movie a couple years ago, was Papillon.
Yeah.
And I heard the remake was terrible, but the first movie, the original, was is incredible. Going old. French Connection. Another movie I saw years ago. Anything you could say about French Connection?
French Connection. I have this on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
This has good racing, like good car scenes, but like, to me, as an action movie, doesn't
do it for you.
No. Like it's a thriller almost. There's like tense moments, but as far as action, I think there's other movies you could probably put.
Well, we have the Hackman here,
and the Hackman has never been that much of an action.
I never saw him as an action star, but again, a guy with chops, acting chops that put him in anything is going to make it interesting. Seven Samurai, another movie I saw a very, very long time ago.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of this movie. Yeah,
this movie has as the Magnificent Seven. Correct. But what's important is that this type of movie, this trope, has been made a million times. The Posse movie. You know what I mean? And in fact,
love those movies, bro.
There is another Japanese movie, and I don't know if it's still on Netflix. I think it's called The War of the Arrows. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Similar to this Posse movie, but with bows and arrows, and it's fucking fire. Similar story. I know the story of this, very similar. So it's just a movie that really moved.
What is this called again?
The Seven Samurai.
The Seven Samurai. Oh, Seven Samurai.
Yeah, another movie that pushes pushes kind of like the tropes forward. And the Posse movie just never gets old. Posse movies will never get old. If you can make compelling characters in the Posse, it's always going to be fucking banging. Ocean's 11, fucking The Italian Job. the Posse movie, right?
Yeah.
Heat. Listen, if Heat's gonna be a fucking action movie, then Heat needs to be number 1 on the list.
Yeah.
There's no list, okay, in the world on planet Earth that has Heat in it where Heat is not number 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is, bro, I had so much respect for it. I lost it, but I lost where I saw this at. But the guy was talking, I think it was just a random conversation about race, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy talking about movies. It was the guy who does, I think it was the guy who does Blackish.
Okay.
I think, and it might be in his new show on Netflix, but he talks about like, there's this part where he's talking about how movies, like he didn't want to support a black movie because he didn't think that it was good.
Okay.
Right. So it was like, do I support blindly, just to move the culture and to support a black filmmaker? But he's like, if it's not good, like, and then he mentions like Heat has the most, like, I think he said 9 minutes, the most intense 9 minutes of all time in it. That last scene, bro, is, I love movies like that. Like, and this movie shot well.
This movie, it's long as shit. It doesn't feel long. It is kind of a Posse movie, except that they don't really, they don't introduce you to the characters in the Posse movie way. But it's a posse versus another posse. It's this group of detectives versus this group of burglars. You know what I mean? That are mad professional. This is Al Pacino coked up, pitching 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Essentially coming off of Scent of a Woman and still being the guy from Scent of a Woman in this movie.
It's a banger. And I remember when it first came out, for some reason I couldn't. It was so long that I couldn't make it through. Like, it was the only movie I would always fall asleep through. And then I remember just like watching it like a little bit older, and oh my gosh, it was like it got because I remember my aunt had this on VHS.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, like I was like, it looks like a good movie. I just can't make it through. It's so boring.
Yeah.
Like now, like I'm like, I could watch it, and just the way it's shot. The only thing that bothers me is there's the scenes where De Niro is with his girlfriend. Like on that balcony. Yeah. And it's a clear fake.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's not a real, like, it's green screened. And
correct.
Like, you could kind of tell.
It's like, it's almost worse than green screen because it looks like a cardboard cutout.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. So that, it's like, it's kind of like, it's like a little, like, it takes away from the moment, but,
I mean, if we're going to we could also nitpick that very weird relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
He's like clearly toxic, and the first time she approaches him, he's like, "Lady, why are you so interested in what I do and what I'm reading?" You know what I mean? It's like, bro, you ain't ever got hollered at by a girl. You're just an asshole. You know what I mean? He's a very toxic person, obviously.
Yeah, and I always find it like I can't. It's always hard when you see someone fall so hard.
Yeah.
Who like is so like stoic and very wise, and he lets that kind of like mess him up.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean that's the that his mantra ends up not becoming the thing, and in fact none of them actually follow the mantra at any point during this movie, because as soon as the heat was around the corner, aka Al Pacino, they go forward with the job anyway. Then when it's time to leave, not only does he not leave alone, he takes this girl, and then on top of taking the girl, he says, "No, I gotta go kill Wayne Grove real quick." He somehow let get away in the parking lot as he stood over him with the gun pointed at him. He looks up for one moment, and Wayne Grove, in the most sleight of hand move ever, somehow escapes from his grasp. But other than that, it's great. It's the greatest movie ever. So watch your fucking mouth how you talk about Heat. So number 16 on the list is disrespectful. The list should have started at number 14 or whatever, wherever Terminator 2 was, and Heat should have been number 2. I don't give a shit what anybody says. The Matrix, number 17.
Matrix, Well, we talked about this. So
we talked. any action list is gonna have the Matrix somewhere on it.
And maybe they're not. They just numbered it, 1 through 20, and maybe there's no order to it. But I mean, the Matrix was a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Even the concept, everything was amazing.
Yeah, everything about it. I mean, every pseudo smart person today, essentially, the Matrix is referenced so much. Like, I gotta unplug, and all that slang is from the Matrix.
Well, isn't that the where they say like red pill?
The red pill and the blue pill, correct? Yeah.
So isn't that like there's a red pill podcast?
Like red pill YouTube channel, all of it.
Yeah. So I mean, that just like kind of.
Yeah, you could I'm about to say you could almost credit being woke is them waking up and realizing that the machines have been eating off them.
Right.
A commentary on everything before Matrix 2 becomes an action movie. But Matrix 2, again, action-wise, my favorite action movie.
Yep.
Of all the Matrix movies. Matrix 1, the story is really what pushes it forward. It's fucking fire.
Yeah.
The cinematography, all of it is fire. You could put the Matrix higher here too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know who was supposed to play Neo first, right?
Who?
Will Smith.
Oh, I did hear about that.
And he decided to do Wild Wild West.
Yeah. Wasn't there another now I think he gave another reason recently too. But it could be like a hindsight 2020 thing,
Yeah. I mean, like either way, he was successful.
Yeah, exactly. He was successful no matter what.
And the thing is, with these movies, they take a lot of time.
Yeah.
So it's like very hard to work on other projects during that. And he was kind of like straight out of
Fresh Prince.
No, Men in Black. And then he did, he did Independence Day, Men in Black, and then he was on a good run. Wild Wild West was like kind of like a fail, but I think he did like another Men in Black and whatever.
Yeah. It's like Wild Wild West was not good.
Yeah.
But he made a lot of money off that song, Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
It was a terrible song, but he made a lot of money off it.
Yeah.
Die Hard, another movie that advances action movies in its own way. You know what I mean? Not with special effects or anything, but by taking a seemingly unattractive man.
Yeah.
Who doesn't look very muscular and is very regular.
Yeah.
And making him into an action star.
Yeah. He's like your, not an anti-hero or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like a guy. He's
your unwilling hero.
Yeah. He's put in a crap sandwich.
Yeah.
And he deals with it.
Yeah, he makes
and and his commentary is some of the best part. Yeah. It's his dialogue. It's his that kind of cop, that jaded cop.
Yeah.
Type of stuff where he's just just like the way he's reacting to stuff.
Yeah.
Makes the movies good.
Correct.
You're in love with him, not because he could do all types of karate.
Yeah.
Because there's times where he's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting my butt kicked. Like he.
Yeah.
The whole all his movies, he gets like the crap beat out of him.
Yeah, he never walks out clean.
No.
Yeah,
it's not like you're like, oh man, like he's such a, John McClane is just like a beast. He's just like a guy that you root for.
He is not going to get into a one-on-one fight with John Wick and win.
Yeah.
But if you put him into a building with mishaps and stuff like that, he has a chance to make it out. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like let's have a gauntlet, right? So you have like Bruce Lee, and then you have John Wick, and you have Terminator and Predator, and all these guys, and it's about who can make it out of this building, right?
Yeah.
In that case, I'm betting on John McClane.
Yeah, so he might have been able to beat Bruce Lee in the Game of Death building.
Yeah, he may have found a way.
But had they been in a parking lot,
head up, he's getting fucked up, no question. He don't stand a chance. But you give him some obstacles and shit, like some Macaulay Culkin type wear to use, and John McClane is making it out.
That's true.
Very few people have the will that he has. My man walks on bare glass in this movie, and that will always stick to me as the worst possible thing.
Yeah.
He goes through it. Everything about it. Yippee-ki-yay. Rest in peace to what's his name? The bad guy, Hans Gruber. What's his name in real life? It's escaping me. Professor Snape. Damn, this is killing me right now.
He died too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
Was a great actor and was a super compelling villain in Die Hard.
Yep.
Great movie. I wouldn't be mad if this was higher on. If you asked me to do this list, I wouldn't have paid respects to some of those older movies like Bullet and it would have probably been disrespectful like Seven Samurai. But then you would have had all of these movies filling the top 10.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, Alan Rickman. That's it. Number 19, Dark Knight. Oh, I'm no longer sharing my screen. Give me 1 second here. Let me.
I'm seeing it.
No. You're seeing this, but you're not seeing it moving. Give me 1 second here. The next movie. What do you think number 19 is? Let's just throw out a couple names.
I want to say it's some sort of like Star Wars movie or like a Marvel movie, like maybe Iron Man.
You're getting warm.
Is this only of the 80s and 90s or?
No.
Oh yeah, because they had like a Kill Bill.
Yeah. So based on that blurry image right there, you see the blurry image back there.
I can't even. Yeah. Well, what I'm seeing, I can't even.
There's a blurring image behind the screen mirroring thing there. Do you see?
Yeah,
that?
No, I can't see what
you
that
can't
is.
see. You can't see what that is. You're gonna when you see it, you're gonna get pissed off. I promise you're gonna get pissed off. We just talked about this movie actually a little bit ago.
I can't. Just show it to me.
Dark Knight. I hate putting comic book movies in the list here.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
But what I will say is Dark Knight surpasses. If we are calling Dark Knight a comic book movie, and I'll have this conversation with anybody, if Dark Knight is a comic book movie, this is still the best comic book movie that's ever come out.
Do you think after Dark Knight, I feel like people became intrigued by bad guys?
Correct.
And there was more development on the bad guy.
Yeah. And this is to the credit of what we talked about. I forgot what movie we talked about on this list that I mentioned that about how was Mission Impossible, right? It's around this time, Mission Impossible 3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Then here with I'm sorry, why is his name escaped me? I can't remember his name right now. What is Joker's name?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, thank you. With Heath Ledger, you realize, and let me be clear, the Joker is arguably, to me, the greatest comic book villain of all time. There's just there's not a villain fucking with him. He's the best comic book villain, and I could get into a comic book deep dive about why he is. But yeah, at this time they decide, what if we got Oscar-winning actors to be villains? Because I think there was a trope that Oscar, like a lot of actors didn't want to play villains because I think they thought it would typecast them in this way.
Yeah.
But when this movie came out, you saw what an actor could do with a villain. But you know what? Credit to what's his face, man. I'll never remember a name. I'm the worst person.
Christian Bale.
No, don't. Less credit to Christian Bale. No. Credit to no. Stop for 1 second. Credit to
Michael Jackson.
Credit to who's the British actor who is in Lincoln?
Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis. Let's not forget that he's the Butcher in What's His Face, and that was also a very compelling villain in Gangs of New York. But what a great actor could do being a villain. This pushes that forward and makes it into a thing. Until Tom Hardy, who people make fun of his Bane, I thought his Bane was fucking fire. He does a banging job. This is fucking banging. This is the best comic book movie of all time if it's a comic book movie. I think it's more than that, though.
No, it is. You're 100% right.
Yeah. The only thing I would say about this movie that doesn't age well about all the Dark Knight movies is Christian Bale's stupid Batman voice. I think it's impossible to get by for me.
Yeah, no. But it's just that, like, everyone loves the Joker now.
Yeah.
And Jared Leto, you heard, like, he was, like, pissed off that, they made another Joker movie, and, like, he was hoping to, like, do more with the role.
Yeah, but his was trash. His Joker was not good. He tried to get
Yeah, no, but I kind of liked. The thing is, he wasn't in it enough.
No, but he tried to get too cute. It's too much. It's too much.
Right.
He was trying to get too cute with it. Because
have you seen Joker?
Have I seen the new Joker? I have not watched the new Joker yet. I haven't watched it yet. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? You want to do a podcast on Joker?
Dude, I was evangelizing for that movie.
No, I remember. I
haven't seen it.
I don't know if evangelizing is the right word for the Joker, but
yeah, I know. But I was
advocating
for that movie because, dude, that movie is like, I think my top 10
movies of all time.
Of mine, yeah.
Yours?
I'm not saying it's a top 10. I wouldn't say that like everyone would agree because I heard people that didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
I think any movie when somebody starts asking real life questions about the implications of the movie, I think is a good sign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because go ahead.
This is what I tell everybody, and I probably said this to you already.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie Joker is like, like you can either witness like a car accident or be in the car accident.
Yeah.
Right. Joker is you're in the car accident.
Gotcha.
Right. Mm-hmm. You're seeing this transformation of this person, like just the very strings that he's hanging on, and you see the snap. Yeah. And it's just insane. It's so good.
Yeah.
You need to see it, and then you let me know.
Okay.
Watch it tonight or tomorrow, something, bro. Because that movie's banging.
I'll watch it. Yeah, I'll watch it. I did like what the direction he seemed to take with Joker.
Yeah.
And what's important to note for anyone who doesn't know, very little is known about Joker's backstory.
Right.
Which is what makes him so compelling, because there have been people who theorize that there have been multiple Jokers over time. That is what allowed Jared Leto to do his version of Joker.
Right.
Because there have been theories that there's been multiple Jokers. So the story there is that he might actually be Jason Todd, who in the comic books, Jason Todd is a Robin who the Joker kills. And then Jason Todd, well, he thought he killed him. They take Jason Todd to the Lazarus Pit, which is the whole thing. But when you come back from the Lazarus Pit, you're never the same. Jason Todd kind of has a mental break and becomes a bad guy named the Red Hood, who was actually the first Joker. The first Joker was actually, that's how he starts as a villain, is the Red Hood, and then he becomes a Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what allows that to be. This movie takes the Joker to another level. To me, because for anyone who doesn't know, this version of the Joker here is kind of based on a comic book called The Killing Joke, where the Joker really, I don't know. Actually, this movie and the new Joker movie are kind of based on The Killing Joke, because it goes back to his roots, but it also shows him really demented. You know what I mean? Like, the shit that he'll do, it's not like the Adam West Batman, where it's the Joker with a flower spitting acid in your face. It's a person who will kidnap your children.
Right.
And like rape your wife and do fucked up things.
Yeah.
I mean, Joker at one point convinces Superman to kill Lois Lane, pregnant Lois Lane. That this is why Joker is the best villain. Anyway, I've gone enough on Joker here.
Yeah.
You could put The Dark Knight higher, because for all of those reasons, actually, you're about to get really mad at me at number 20. I just read it, but you could put this higher because, to your point, this makes villains accessible in a different way going forward after it. So, so you want to get pissed off? You ready to be angry?
Oh, because you haven't seen this?
Yeah. Wait, is this the one? The thing is, I've seen a lot of parts of every Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, this is the first one.
This is not the one where he fights the guy with the whip and he shoots him?
No, this is that. This is that one.
This is that one.
I'm pretty sure. It's that Temple of Doom. I get so confused because they're all like in the.
In the Middle East, right?
Yeah, except like no, Temple of Doom is like more like jungle. But they're like in Middle East.
Yeah, and that's the one with the big boulder in the thing.
Yeah. Like
this is the one that
here,
melts.
You see Boulder.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched any one of these movies all the way through.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to
you know, it's funny. You know, it's funny because like when we talked, I did the first. You know, like you said, like you know, we were gonna make that list.
Yeah.
And that was the first movie I had for the action adventure. Was Indiana Jones, but I like Temple of Doom.
Yeah, it's disgusting because I really do love movies like this. You know what I mean? Everything like jumping into like old text and archaeology and weird history and shit like that. I love everything about it. I mean, I read all the Da Vinci Code and all of that is inspired by movies like this in some way.
No.
National
you have
Treasure.
to go back.
Yeah, I gotta watch them.
Yeah, and you know the thing is, like these are. I haven't seen the last one, the one with Shia LaBeouf.
It's the Crystal Skull, which I
Crystal
heard was
Skull.
bad.
I haven't seen that one, but the you know, this movie, like they're good. They're good. I mean, the music is good. You know, you had Kyle Williams on the.
You have Harrison Ford at his arguably his apex. Because this is Star Wars and
like all the Clear and Present Dangers.
Clear and Present, but that's later. Clear and Present Dangers.
That's a little later, but
that's in the 90s.
He went on.
What's the one that they just remade with Ryan Gosling, and he's in it?
Oh, Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, Blade
Runner is amazing.
Yeah.
That Blade Runner, like just cinematically, just visually, is amazing.
Yeah. Blade Runner is an incredible movie. I haven't seen the new Blade Runner yet. I heard it was really good, and I heard it kind of pushes the story a little bit forward. But yeah, I haven't watched these. I know what makes them great. I understand what's great about them. I have to watch them. I think you're right to your point, right? You said like every one of these movies on this list kind of pushes the genre forward a little bit, and every child of this movie exists in some way. Like you can look at every one of these movies and see where a child exists. Even so, if you look like Raiders of the Lost Ark, you would say like a movie like National Treasure, right? There is a child of this movie, which National Treasure is a banger movie. Like
it is.
Who would ever hate on National Treasure?
It is. And the thing is, like with me, you know, the Indiana Jones movies, you know, as a, you know, like an 80s/90s kid, you know what I mean? That movie, like I remember seeing it young and just being completely like wanting the whip and, you know, like just adventure, you know, like that. I was like even to back then, like the soundtrack would get stuck in my head. And as I was pretending I was Indiana Jones, I'm doing the song in my head. I would have like a string, you know, like a rope with like a toy, and then try to use it as like a grab, you know, the grappling hook. So I mean, the thing is, all the movies that came out of Raiders, I mean out of the Indiana Jones movies were fire. And not only that, but a lot of people don't know that in the 90s they actually had a show called, I think, Young Indiana Jones or something like that.
Oh, yes, they did. I remember that now.
You know, it was something that people loved. Like, they loved the story. And you brought up the scene where he shoots the guy with the sword. And you know why? Like
he was hungover, right? Something like that.
No, he was sick. Like he
had the flu.
And it was so hot, and they had this big scene with him, and he's like, "Can I just shoot him?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah." So, you know, talk about, you know, back with the sword, you know, the curved sword.
Yeah.
Give him a one-hitter quitter on that.
Yeah. He said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna shoot him." And because this is Harrison Ford at his peak cool guy apex. You know what I mean? Like they'll always point to that. They'll always point to the Princess Leia saying "I love you" and him saying "I know" as like peak cool moment Harrison Ford's. But look, I want to do a quick experiment here. Okay, we're done. All right, we did the top 20. But before we go and do this quick experiment, I want to try. Any surprises that are not in here that you can think of? Any movies you're surprised and not?
Like I thought they, you know, they might put like a Top Gun.
Okay.
Top Gun, what, you know, the Star Wars, like throwing a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
I mean, that's action adventure. You
know what stands out to me that's not in here?
What?
Is Jurassic Park.
That's a good call too.
Yeah, I'm very surprised it's not in here. Maybe to the point like we were saying about how this spawned so many different movies like that, where Terminator, the Terminator, almost you would think that like the special effects movie, right, is like who comes from Jurassic Park is similar in that vein, but I'm surprised not to see Jurassic Park in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're done there. Everyone, subscribe to this and to the YouTube channel. We're going to try an experiment that might only be on YouTube, or it might be another podcast. I don't know. So yeah, that's it. Goodbye. Fred, say bye real quick.
Peace.
Sometimes I gotta, and sometimes I gotta cope. And sometimes I gotta, and sometimes I gotta.